Good morning. Okay, so I am making an updated video on my predictions for the Arnold bikini. And I feel like I have dog hair in my eye and I kept trying to fish it out and I couldn't find it. So if I look like I've been weeping, that's why. Okay, here are my thoughts. Let's pull up everyone's pictures. Since I did my first video when the list initially came out, two people have dropped out, and they were my top two. So I have to regroup. So here I am regrouping. I don't know how much there actually is to say because I probably broke everyone down in the video I made previously, but I'm not about to watch the video I made back. So we're just gonna do it over again. And people are gonna fall into different places in my mind because Laura Lee and Maureen are no longer competing in the Arnold this year. Um, but really, this Arnold is so exciting because any of these people, I think okay, let me just say who I think could really like win this show. Okay, well, I don't know why I set myself up with such a difficult question. Okay, I could see a lot of people sneaking into the top three for sure. So let's talk about that. So, who I think could be in the top three, I think that Amy, Maria, maybe even Stassi. I'm not sure. I think she is a dark horse. Vanya, Jordan, Jazzy, and Ariana, and Ashlyn could all be in the top three. So let's get into it. Okay, so starting with who do we want to start with? Okay. Who am I most obsessed with? Oh, such a hard question. Probably Jazzy. Probably Jazzy and Maria. Okay, so let's get into first. We'll just go alphabetically. Okay, Amy. So, okay, I'm so stressed making this video. Because this show is just so exciting. I'm very sad Maureen's not going to compete in it because she is my favorite competitor and favorite Miss Olympia. Okay, so what do I think about Amy? I think Amy totally could win this show. When she came into the Olympia this year, she got the highest placing she has yet after 2 years of placing sixth place consecutively. She placed fourth this year, which was huge. And she placed fourth without having that normal pop to her physique that we're used to seeing. So I think if Amy can bring in more like the Amy Delgado New York Pro NPC. Okay, let's see. Will it bring up the exact one I just looked up? Yes! Okay. If she actually, Pittsburgh. So if she can bring the Pittsburgh look, which from what I am remembering, she was told this was her best look. So see the pop that she gets here compared to at the Olympia? Her muscles are just like bursting in these photos, and her shoulder, she looked a little unlevel, like she was trying to be a little tighter here in the lat, like not show too much, but I think she had better hourglass shape at the Pittsburgh here. So yeah, that is what I would like to see out of Amy this year at the Arnold. And then if we look at her back pose, same thing. She is just like bursting out of her own skin in these Pittsburgh photos compared to the Olympia. So, like, this is what I'm hoping to see out of Amy. And if Amy can bring this, I think she could win the show. So, if she brings this look, I think she could win the show. See how she just has more upper outer glute pop. She's just glowing a little bit more. A lot of that is probably just lighting and, like, amount of glaze. It looks like there's something going on with her tan, specifically here on her glute. So, if she had a little more glaze, maybe she would get a similar pop. But you can see with like her quad sweeps here, the hamstring popping out, she's not getting as much of that volume there or in the upper outer glute as she is at the Pittsburgh. So I think if she brings that, she could certainly win this show. And then let's talk about okay, so if Amy brought that, sorry, I'm like all out of sorts. I should have prepared more. Okay, I think Amy could win. That's what I'm saying. Who do I think will win? I have no idea. I have no idea who's gonna win the show because it's like very tight. So Amy at the Olympia, it was like solid down the line as to placings until you got to who was it? Jordan and Ariana, which is pretty, it was a 2 point difference between them. 13th or 12th and 13th place, and Jordan got 66 points and Ariana got 68 points. You want to have as few points as possible. Um, so Ariana and Jordan have actually gone back and forth at multiple shows. So I think Ariana won the overall at one of the national shows that Jordan did. And at the Hurricane in 2023, I believe, Jordan beat Ariana. Ariana got second place at that show. And then Ariana came back and beat her at the Olympia, like a few weeks or 2 weeks later. So at the Hurricane Post, she got first, Ariana got second. And then at the Olympia, Ariana got seventh and Jordan did not place. So it's interesting seeing those two go back and forth because at the Olympia this year, Ariana dropped in placings and then Jordan beat her just by 2 points. So that'll always be exciting for me. Not that their physiques are like super, super comparable, but just like the going back and forth, I think is always like fun to see what's going to happen next. So then who else were we talking about? Okay, so Angelica. So Angelica, this is going to be her final show. Congratulations, Angelica. And where do I think she's going to place? So last year at the Arnold, she placed fourth. But this year, I think it is a more stacked lineup. You have like most of these people were in the top 10 of the Olympia this year. And including Angelica. She got 10th place at the 2024 Olympia. But do I think that she is going to place in that top 5? Not really. Her balance could get her there. I think that's what got her into the top 5 last year. But she just doesn't have the same pop that we're seeing on somebody like, let's pull up Ashlyn. She just doesn't have this same like volume to her physique that someone like Ashlyn or Ari or Amy or Jordan do. Jordan would be a very stark example here. This is how Jordan is looking right now. Are you kidding me? She looks incredible. So yeah, I just don't think that Angelica has that still. So I'll be curious to see how she comes in looking. She did compete again last year after the Olympia at the Atlantic Coast to qualify for this year's Olympia, I imagine, or just for fun. Maybe she knew she was going to retire. But she's just a little bit tighter looking than the other athletes. And then also, this pose is not really helping her. It got her into the top 10, better than I've ever done. Never even done a pro show. So she's obviously better. But what I'm saying is that she's so closed off that it takes away from her hourglass shape. So she opened up her shoulders a little bit more, like a little more at the judge, like you see Jordan angling here, then I think that would enhance her shape. But from the back, it just looks like she's lacking a little bit of that, like, bursting at the seams thing that some of these other athletes have. So I don't know where I predicted her to be, but probably not in the top 5. But thank you, Angelica, for all your service because you have inspired so many of us to do bodybuilding in the first place. So I'm very excited for her. I'm very excited for all these people. Like, what an honor to compete at the Arnold. Like, you have to be invited to the Arnold, you have to apply, and then like, hundreds, thousands of people apply, I'm sure. But I haven't filmed a video in like 2 weeks if it's not obvious. Tons of people apply, and then you just like have to prep for it before you even know if you get into it, because they don't let you know till like 10-12 weeks out. Like last year, I think it was just like 10 or 11 weeks in between notifying people in the Arnold happening. So a lot of people will just have to start their prep and then they don't even get accepted to the Arnold, and the only other show after that, like close to that, is still like a few weeks later. So that would be pretty crushing, I imagine. So congrats to all these people. I'm so excited to see all of them getting on stage. Okay, who else are we talking about? Ariana. Okay, so this is Ari at this year's Olympia, but let's pull her up at 2023 Olympia because I think that's like been her best look so far. Actually, probably Atlantic Coast. So I'll pull up Atlantic Coast. But yeah, so Ariana lost some size this past year, 2024, and then she switched coaches, recouped a lot of that size, but not quite in time for the Olympia. In time to still place 13th, which is awesome. But yeah. So she is someone I'm really excited to see on stage this year because I think she's had enough time to put on the size necessary to do really well at this Arnold. So this picture is not a very good representation. Okay, well, I guess this. Okay, I guess we will just go to her Olympia photo. So Ariana is a really special competitor because she has these muscle bellies that are just so full. Skin is perfect, hair, makeup perfect. Her energy on stage is so infectious. She seems like excited to be there. And like stress free, even though I'm sure she's incredibly like overwhelmed, and excited and wants to do well, obviously. But she just has an infectious presence on stage. In the past, she's been told she needs to bring up her quads, so I know that is something she's been working on just based on following her, seeing what her coach says and stuff. So if she can bring a look like this, but with fuller legs here, then I think that she could even be a threat to win. But has she had enough time to do that? I'm not sure. So let's look at that compared to her back pose. Um, and you'll see. Okay, so here she is. Here's our back pose in 2023, and here it was at the 2024 Arnold. So if she can just regain like this volume and shape to her physique, well, the volume is what gives her shape, then I think she could definitely win the Arnold. But it's just going to be a matter of has she had enough time to put on the size necessary to win the Arnold title. But I think she could totally be in the top three. I'm very excited. She has not posted any updates except for like in her little transition pose, but that's not very helpful for the purposes of this video. So yeah, Ashlyn. Okay, so here was Ashlyn at the Olympia this year, but I think Ashlyn's best look, which is one that I should have pulled up already, but I didn't, is going to be at the Texas show that she did in 2024. So she said that she was having like trouble digesting her food, like with nutrient absorption, when it came time for the Olympia in 2024. So she didn't have the same pop to her physique that we saw at the Republic of Texas. And when you see these pictures next to each other, you'll kind of see. So we're seeing, of course, different lighting and stuff, but a little more graininess here than here. She doesn't look like she has as much pop and projection. So if she can bring like this a look, then she could definitely be high up in the placings. What do I think Ashlyn's like barriers are that she kind of has to overcome? I've said before, and I don't even know if it's true or if it's just like something that I wonder, is that she has a longer muscle insertions in like her glutes and stuff than she does in her upper body. So here she was in this back pose at Texas versus the Olympia. So if she can bring more like this look, then I think she could definitely be top three. But what do I think about that? Yeah, so she says shorter muscle insertions up here, so it makes things look a little bit more compact and less of that like streamlinedness that we see in someone like Ariana's physique from 2023. But I don't know if that's an actual issue. All I have noticed is that it makes it look a little bit harder at the top than she does on the bottom. But that could just be in my head and not a real thing. Is it something that would separate her from like being first and third? Maybe. I am not very aware of what her feedback has been from the judges, but it's something that I have asked myself. Okay, and then we have Jazzy. Oh my god, I'm obsessed with Jazzy. Okay. Jazzy is one of the people that I looked up to when I first started competing because she would work out in the school gym of SDSU when she was a student there. And I was like, wow, how does she do it all? And still, I wonder, how do people do it all? It is so incredible. So when I got my pro card, after like prepping at the gym at school, I was like, oh my god, I am living up to my role model. So here's Shazzy. This is what she looked like at the Olympia when she placed third. She said that her feedback was that her hamstrings were too tight. So I imagine that she's been working on that for sure. But I think what she's been doing to work on it is increasing size in her hamstrings so that she doesn't have to get as lean to get the same pop in the lower half. Of course, she's still super lean, but I just mean when you have more density, you'll get more projection from the muscles instead of having to like get shrink wrap, and see like these little grooves and stuff that we're seeing in her hamstring here. So this is what she was looking like earlier this week or something. These photos are a little bit dark, but these are what she posted in her little her broadcast channel, which thank you so much to all these athletes who use their broadcast channel. It makes this so exciting for me because we get to see updates, and really we only have like Jazzy and Jordan getting those updates, so I'm so grateful for you guys. And then here is her back pose now. So look at this increase in hamstring size. Okay, is that working? Whatever. Okay, yeah. So she doesn't have as tight of those grooves there. Of course, we'll have to see when she's on stage, but she looks like she has more volume all around, and I'm really excited to see her on stage. I think she could definitely win, but not having Ashley or Laura Lee in this lineup kind of leaves everything up in the air. So on paper, it looks like the placing should just go in the order they went at the Olympia, but it's such minor changes that make all the difference when you are on stage, and also your stage presence is huge. So I would say the people with the best stage presence on this list are Jazzy, Laura Lee, and Maureen, but neither of them are in it. So Jazzy and Vanya, I think they have the best stage presence in the league. And they're just captivating. You cannot help but be drawn to them. So I think that Vanya has a serious chance of winning this. So, but we'll see. So we'll get to her, I mean. So here was Jordan at the Olympia, and I was fucking shook when I saw her glutes. Like when I saw her glutes come out for Sasquatch and Legion, I was like, where did those come from? They are incredible. I am gooped and gagged over her glutes. They are unreal. I am so excited to see her on stage. So, what is changing? I heard her say on her podcast that she is changing her bottoms because they don't really want the V front bottom. And like, just look at this improvement this is like 2 months. This is crazy. Or like 3 months or something. I don't know. But this is what she looked like at the Olympia. It doesn't even matter what she looked like at the Olympia because this is what she's looking like now. Like, are you kidding me? This is unbelievable. Now, when I look at these photos, I am always kind of wondering, it looks like we don't really get roundness in the shoulders in her back pose, even though obviously she has gobs of it. So what I'm wondering is here's my posing advice to you, Jordan. I know you've been wondering. Here's my advice. I wonder if she can, like, if she's rounded, if she can just open up and, like, maybe spread her lats in a way that gets her shoulders to pop, because I'm seeing mostly tricep. Also, if she slid her hands down so we couldn't see her hands, then that would straighten her arm and minimize her tricep. Right now, the tricep is popping out at me. So yeah, that's something I'd want to change with her back pose. And then what do I think would stand in the way of Jordan winning this show? Because I think these glutes could win the show. I heard her say on her podcast that she thinks that like her glutes would stop her from winning an Olympia because she like needs more density in them. But I disagree. I think that what would be standing in the way is just at this point, well, I think what would stand in the way if she put on the muscle is stage presence. Like, just looking more comfortable on stage. I think she usually looks like a little bit forced. And a lot of people do. Like, I probably look forced too. Like, it's, you really want to perform, you really want to do well. But yeah, I would say that she looks a little bit forced, like she's thinking through things on stage too much. And I would say her makeup is a little too harsh for me usually. Like, I did not like this purple eye with this suit. I think if she's had like the boring bronzy goldish, like mainly like bronzy or copper would be better on her. then that would be great. But this just looks a little bit too harsh and a little bit too Ursula for me. And you know I love a Disney villain. Well, maybe you don't know that, but I'm queer. Obviously, I love a Disney villain. So you know I love the look, but it's just reads as a little harsh on stage. So that is what I think with stage presence. Also, hair, it needs to be brushed through. Um, but we've already talked about Olympia and stuff. So what I think is missing from her physique at this point, I think glutes are there. I would like to see, of course, when you get lean, some people will just have a lot of this detail. Like I had a lot of this detail. When I look at her front pose, something is missing for me, and I think it's a little bit of glute profile. So I guess that would mean glutes are not totally there yet. But before she even would like have that be the focus, I think she lacks a little bit of hamstring. So it looks like glutes, and then it's just kind of flat here, and then we see roundness out to these sides. But if you look at someone like the two people that I just had up, who I then took them down. Okay, I have to go to Ashlyn, Little, and PC. Okay. Notice how Ashlyn's hamstrings are like bubbly, and they match the bubbliness in her glutes. So this is what I want to see out of Jordan. And Jordan does not need my advice. She is in great hands with Jamie. Jamie seems like an excellent coach. But this is what I mean. So see how we have this like bubbliness with the hamstrings here that matches the bubbliness in the glutes? That's what I think is missing on Jordan. Because it seems like glutes, upper body, and then just kind of a wash. Same within her front pose. It looks like her upper body is a lot more dominant than her lower body because she just doesn't have the same volume on the bottom, and that's going to come from more legs. So I think more hamstring, maybe a little bit more quad, but I would think that maybe if she has got more hamstring, if it would balance things out. Yeah, I think that's what she needs because right now she looks upper body dominant to me in this front pose, and then in the back pose, looks kind of a little bit too. I mean, she'll fill out obviously, like it looks a little tight, but yeah, I think if she had more pop in the hamstrings, then that would be helping with her symmetry, and then I think she could definitely win the. I think she could win the Olympia. It would just come down to that for me. Because her waist is freakishly tiny. Like, Jordan has a freaky physique. But it also, not to be insulting, looks like the attainable thing that judges want. And Jordan has said that, essentially, I believe. So, yeah, that's what I think about Jordan. Jordan, thank you so much for the broadcast channel and your podcast. I am so grateful for you. Okay, let's go into Maria. I love Maria. Okay, here's Maria. So this was her first Olympia after like getting second place and just missing her qualification a lot of times. Maybe like 3, but that's a lot, honestly. Like if you missed it once, it sucks. If you missed it twice, you're like, are you fucking kidding me? I would guess. I don't know. So this is Maria. What do I think Maria, okay, so Maria hasn't really posted like front or back pose updates, but Maria has such a great stage presence, such great energy about her, similar to Ariana's energy, that kind of like newer, greener energy, but not in a way that is negative, like in a way that is very good and reads favorably on stage. So Maria has great balance between top and bottom, and I think it's just going to be a matter of more glutes. I would like to see the arms straighter down a little bit, but girl, this is what got you seventh place, so keep it up. And love this red on her, love her hair and makeup, tan, glaze, everything is perfect. So I would love to see her in top 3, and I think it could happen. I'll go into my predictions at the end. Okay, who is my Stassi is my dark horse. So here is Stassi. She won the Arnold Amateur overall last year, 2024. And what we've talked about with her in the past is just stage glam. So mainly just upping the glam factor on stage. So, and a new suit color. I think that would help. So I hope she wears a new suit and like gets her makeup done for the show. She deserves it. And then what would I change about the posing? She's striking on stage. So I was going to say that she placed 4th at her pro debut, by the way, at a class show. What I would change about her front pose, love the yellow nails. Is having these feet more on the same line like it is right here, and unlike in this update picture, but maybe this update picture is just a weird angle. And then standing up a little bit taller. It looks like a little bit topsy-turvy, just slightly. But if she stood up taller, brought that arm in a little bit more, I think she'd get better balance from top to bottom. But her back pose, it's fucking crazy. Like, when we saw her backstage at the Arnold Amateur, it was like, game over. Like, she is phenomenal. I'm very excited for this show. Okay. Who else? Oh, and it's hard to say where she'll place because she's not really competed against these people before. Okay, now we have Tamikia. Love Tamikia's physique. So she posted an update picture for us. Thank you, Tamikia. And here she was at the Olympia. So Tamikia, her main issue is usually just consistency, like not coming in, like hitting the mark every time. It's usually like a little bit of softness in the glutes here. But her waist is crazy tiny. She has great balance from top to bottom. She's a tall competitor, but her muscle bellies are like filled out. She doesn't look stringy at all. She's placed as high as 15th at the Olympia in 2023. And then this year she was in the call out that had the rest of the top 15, but she missed her spot there in 2024. So what would I like to see from her? Maybe straighten the arms slightly. I don't know. We'll see. But all she needs is a little more glue. So that when she transitions and stuff, they don't get soft right here. That's all she needs. Because that's been like the issue. She'll come in too hard up top, but still like too soft in the glue. And different variations of that. And my favorite suit on her, when she wore the yellow. Yeah, I would wear the yellow. See, right here. Striking. Amazing. And she could place, like, I think she could be in the top 5 if we have solved the glute issue. Okay, Vanya. Okay, I mean, I think you guys can tell by the way I glow when I say certain competitors' names what a fan I am. So I am such a fan of Vanya. She is just head to toe flawless. Seems like she has a great attitude. Great presence on stage. Just incredible. Her posing is, I wonder if we can see a posing video. Vanya August posing NPC. If I can't find it, then okay, I won't be able to find it because I'm not logged into Instagram. Oh yeah, okay, let's play this. What the heck? I'm trying to play. Oh, okay. Those are on Instagram, so that's the issue. Whatever. There we are. She placed 3rd at the Arnold UK and at the Pittsburgh Pro or the New York Pro or something. And 3rd at the Arnold last year, I believe. So, yeah, Vanya is an incredible competitor. She also just needs more glutes. I think that's the only thing. Like, when I look at her pose, it just looks like she has pop everywhere and needs a little more pop in the glutes. But once she gets that, I think she's there. And it was a bigger difference in points between her and Ashlyn at the Olympia, 7 points, whereas the other people in the top 5, it was like 5 points separating, or in the top 4, the top 5 separating each of them. So it was a bigger gap there, but Ashlyn again was not like on, so it'll be interesting to see. Okay, I don't even know if I said anything valuable, so but I did it. But I did this. Okay. Let's just say for fun who I think my top people are. Okay. In first place, let me write these down. Okay. I think in first place, I'm going to have, we're doing this live. Okay. Jasmine or Amy? If Jasmine has the pop and does not come in too hard, I think Jasmine could win. But I honestly think okay, and it could go anyway, obviously. I think it's probably going to be Amy, Jasmine, and then, maybe, I mean, Jordan's glutes just look so good. Stassi does have really good balance. Like, I could see her making it into the top 3. I'm gonna put Ari. I think because I'm always pulling for Ari. Oh, what about Vanya? I think Vanya could win. I'm gonna say Vanya, Jasmine, Amy. Okay, Vanya, Jazzy, Amy, then Ari. Okay, I was accidentally voice typing. Oh my God, this is a wreck. Okay. And then who's in fifth place? Jordan or Maria? Maria placed a really high at the Pittsburgh Pro, I think. Okay. And then I'm gonna say Maria, Jordan. Now I'm just guessing. Okay, I'm just gonna say that. Vanya, Jasmine, Amy, Ari, Maria, Jordan. That's what I think. Let me know what you guys think.